Okay, 1.3, day 2, we're modeling with linear functions, which means we're using the equations of lines on word problems. Okay, to remind you, if they give you the slope and the y-intercept, you normally do slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. If they give you the slope and a point, we use point-slope form just because it's easier, which is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. If they give you 2 points, you need to find the slope yourself. Once you have the slope, you can either use slope-intercept form or point-slope form to write the equation. Okay, so let's start off by looking at some graphs. Great. The graph shows the height y in feet of a flag x seconds after you start raising it up the flagpole. Write an equation for the line. Okay, I'm going to ignore the words for now. If I'm writing the equation, I just have to look at the information they have given me. They've given me a line. I see 2 points. I see 0, 3, and 2, 6. I need the slope. I can get the slope using the equation, or I can count it from the graph, and both ways are equally good. Okay, I'm going to use the equation, and then I will show you that it's the same answer. Okay, the equation for slope is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Equals minus. Okay, y2 minus y1. It does not matter which y value you do first, as long as you're consistent. So I'm going to do y minus y. 6 minus 3. And then for the x's, I have x2 minus x1. Whatever one I started with, I need to start with again. So since I started with 6, I start with 2, 0. Okay, so what's my slope? My slope is 6 minus 3, 3 over 2. Okay, now that I have this slope, if I got it from the graph, I could still do rise over run. You just have to be a little careful. If I rise here, I'm not rising 1. I'm going from 3 to 6. I'm rising 3. And then on the run, I'm going 1, 2. And I would still get 3 over 2 using the graph. Okay, now I can do slope-intercept form, or I can do point-slope form, because they gave me the intercept here and they gave me the point here. It does not matter to me which one you do. Okay, I'm going to do slope-intercept form, but you could do the other one. If I do slope-intercept form, it's y equals mx plus b. b is the y-intercept. The y-intercept is 3. If you do point-slope form, you have y minus 6 equals 3 halves parentheses x minus 2. That's just as correct, and it doesn't matter to me which one you use. Okay, now b. What is the height of the flag at 5 seconds? Okay, now that I have an equation, I could look at the graph. At 5 seconds, it's a little hard to read, so I'm going to use the equation. Okay, the main thing I need to figure out for the 5 seconds is the 5 seconds represent the x value or the y value? So I'm going to go back and read the question. It says the graph shows the height y in feet and of the flag x seconds. So the seconds are the x values. So I'm just going to plug it in my equation. Y equals 3 over 2 times 5 plus 3. Okay, now when we do applications, we do get decimals, so I'm okay if you get decimal answers. If I do 3 over 2 times 5, I get 15 over 2, which is 7.5 plus 3. So I get 10.5. The y value is what? Y is feet, 10.5 feet. Okay, so at 5 seconds, this should be 10.5 feet. I'm going to look at the graph just to check my answer. At x is 5. That could be 10.5 because it's somewhere between 9 and 12. Okay, the last thing is interpret the slope. And this is a weird one. Okay, first let me look and see what the slope is. The slope is 3 over 2. Okay, now I'm going to look at the units for slope because that helps me figure out what to do. Okay, slope is rise over run. So it is the y units. The y is feet over the x, which is seconds. Okay, and then I need to answer this in terms of something feet per second. So I'm going to read the question. The graph shows the height of the flag x seconds after you start raising it up the pole. Okay, so the flag is going up the pole. So the flag is going up the pole. At 3 over 2 feet per second. And that just tells me how fast the flag is going up the pole. You could also say the flag is being raised up the pole at 1.5 feet per second, but it should have something with feet per second and something relating to the flag is being raised up the pole. Okay, let's try 2. 2 is very similar, so if you want to pause and continue, you can. Okay, I'm gonna find the slope using the pairs. I see 524. What's the other pair? 0, 0. Yeah, 0, 0. Okay, if you want to do the slope from the graph, I'm going to go up 24 over 5. My slope is 24 over 5. I'm going to use the formula for people who like the formula. Minus, minus. Okay, it's going to be y minus y, y, over x minus x, x, x. And as long as you go in the same order, it doesn't matter which one's first. Okay, so my slope is 24 over 5. I can do point slope form or y-intercept form. I'm going to do y-intercept form, slope-intercept form. So my slope is 24/5 x. The y-intercept is 0, so I could put plus 0 at the end, but I don't have to put plus 0 at the end. If you do y minus 24 equals 24 over 5 parentheses x minus 5, that's the same answer. Okay, that's my equation. Let's go to B. It says, how far has the asteroid traveled in 12 seconds? Okay, I can see the seconds are on the x-axis. So this is when x is 12. Okay, now this graph also does not go all the way until 12 seconds, so I cannot get the information from the graph, so I am going to get it from the equation. So y equals 24 over 5 times 12. Do I want to times this in my head? Absolutely not. I'm going to use a calculator and do 24/5 times 12. Okay, I got 57.6, and you can leave it as a fraction or a decimal. The units are y units. Where are the y units? The y units are miles, so 57.6 miles. Okay, interpret the slope. Okay, first let me see what the slope is. This is like my scratch. My slope is 24/5. The units are y units over x units, because it's rise over run. The y units are miles per second. So my answer should say something about 24 over 5 miles per second. Okay, now I'm going to read the question. The graph below shows the distance an asteroid travels in x seconds. So this is about an asteroid traveling. The asteroid travels at a speed. We could say a rate of. Okay, I'm going to write it two ways, and you can decide which way to do it. One is you can just take the slope the way it is and say, okay, it goes at 24 over 5 miles per second. Okay, that's option one. Or you could say the asteroid travels 24 miles every 5 seconds. It does not matter to me which one you write. Pick one and do it the same way every time. Okay, next graph. The graph below shows the volume of a swimming pool after X hours. Write an equation for the line. Oh, and it looks like the swimming pool is going down. Okay, and what do I need? I need slope. They gave me these 2 points. I'm going to use the formula. If you can use rise over run, I'm fine with that, and then you will write the slope yourself. Okay, minus, minus. I'm going to do y. X. Okay, 300 minus 180 is 120. Divided by -2 is -60. Okay, and I got a negative slope, but the line is going downhill, so that actually looks correct. If I got a positive slope, I would actually be more concerned. Okay, now I need to write an equation. The y-intercept is not clear, so I need to do point slope form. You can use this point or this point. Does not matter, they're equivalent. I'm going to use this one for no particular reason. Okay, so point slope y minus the y coordinate equals the slope x minus the x coordinate. The x coordinate was the 5. Just make sure you pick both points from the same ordered pair. Okay, that's my equation. I'm not going to solve it unless I have to later on. Okay, for part B, how much water is left in the pool at at 7 seconds? Well, that should be hours. That is a typo that I will fix. Let's make it hours. Okay, my graph does not go to 7 hours. That's out here somewhere. So I can't use the graph. I'm gonna have to plug into the equation. The hours are on the x-axis, so this is x equals 7. So I'm gonna plug x equals 7 into this equation. Okay, and I know this is not the nicest equation, but we can do it. -60 X is 7 minus 5. Okay, let me figure this out. Negative 60 times 7 minus 5 is 2. Okay, let me keep going. Y minus 180 equals negative 60 times 2, negative 120. Okay, now I can add the 180 over. And I get y equals 60, and the units on the y-axis are cubic feet. So there are 60 cubic feet of water left in the pool after 7 hours, which doesn't seem like much, but I don't know anything about pools. Okay. Interpret the slope. What is the slope? The slope is negative 60. The units are the y over the x, so it's cubic feet per hour. Okay, and then what is it? The volume of the swimming pool. Okay, let's start with what it tells me. The volume of the swimming pool. Okay, is, okay, now it's negative 60. So the pool is getting lower. So I could say decreasing is getting lower, is draining, I don't know what it's doing, is decreasing because of the negative at 60 cubic feet per hour. Okay, don't write negative. The negative means that the pool water is going down. So you could say the volume of the swimming pool is going down 60 cubic feet per hour. Something like that would work. Okay, now let's look at a table. Okay, the table represents the rental fees for Lakeside Inn as a prom venue with X students. Write an equation for the line. So they gave me a bunch of ordered pairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ordered pairs. Okay, I want to find the slope first because they did not give me the slope. You can use the slope formula again, or you can do the change in y over change in x. I'm going to do the change in y over change in x. If you do the slope formula, you can pick any 2 points. I just normally pick the lowest. Okay, the change in y, this is going up 300 over the change in x for the same interval is 25. Okay, so 300 divided by 25 is 12. Okay, I don't see a y-intercept, so we have to do point slope form. It does not matter which ordered pair you use for point slope form. If I have a choice, I pick the one with the smaller numbers for no reason other than it might be easier later. So y minus, the y coordinate is the 1500 equals the slope x minus the x coordinate is 100. And if you picked any other ordered pair on the list, it would also be correct. So there's 5 different equivalent equations you could write. Okay, I wrote my equation. Okay, if there are 500 students at prom, what will be the total cost? Okay, 500 students. Students are the x's. So this is saying x is 500. Okay, x is 500 is not on my table, but it's going to cost a lot of money because 200 costs 2,700. So I'm going to plug it into the equation that I wrote. Okay, and if you want to solve the equation before plugging in, you could do that as well. You should get the same answer. Minus 100. Okay, now let's work with it. 1 minus 1,500 equals 12. 500 minus 100 is 400. Y minus 1,500 equals 4,800. Okay, let me plus the 1,500 over. What is that? 5,800 plus 500, 6,300. Okay, what are the units? The units for y are the cost. I'm assuming it's dollars. Oh, it is dollars. So it would cost $6,300 if 500 people went to prom, and that seems reasonable because 200 is 2,700, so 500 should be significantly more. Okay, one more table. Okay, the table represents Kim's babysitting fees for X hours. Write an equation for the line. Okay, the line, we just do it. We don't even worry about the words. We can do change in y over change in x, or you can do the formula. I'm doing change in y over change in x. Okay, in the y column, it's increasing by 4. In the x column, it's increasing by 1. So the slope is 4. Okay, No y-intercept, I have to do point slope form. It does not matter which ordered pair you use. I'm going to use the first one just because the numbers seem a little lower and I might have to plug in later. Okay, so y minus the y coordinate equals the slope x minus the x coordinate. Okay, and I could solve it, but there's no real need to, so I'm going to leave it the way it is. Okay, if Kim earned $50, how much hours did she work? How many hours did she work? Okay, so I want to plug in $50. Is $50 the x or the y? Hours, dollars. So this is, the dollars is actually the y value. So I want to plug in 50 in the y spot, which is different than the other one. So the 50 is going to go here. Okay, so let's plug it in. Even though it looks weird, I'm going to go with it. Minus 22 equals 4 times x minus 1. 50 minus 22 is 28. I'm going to distribute 4x minus 4. Let's plus the 4 over. So 32 equals 4x, and then if I divide by 4, I get x equals 8. The units for x are hours, so if she works 8 hours, she will earn $32, which is far less than minimum wage. You should get paid more than that, but that's a fake number. Okay, last ones are word problems. Okay, they're going to give us a description. We're going to write the equation, and then we'll do the follow-up question. Okay, Angel has $24 in the bank. He saves $4 each week. Okay, write an equation that gives the total amount y equals, that Angel has at the end of each week. Okay, let's go back. How much? Angel had $24 in the bank, so he starts with $24. He saves $4 each week. If he is saving $4 each week, is the amount of money he has going up or down? It should be going up. He's not spending, he's saving. So we're going to plus $4 each week. We're going to call that x. Are we done? Yep, I think that's good. Okay, B. How much money will Angel have in the bank after 12 weeks? Okay, are the weeks the x or the y? Okay, y is the amount of money, so x must be the week. So I'm going to plug in x as 12. Y equals 24 plus 4 times 12. So that's 24 plus 48. So that's 72. How much money? Dollars? So Angel will have $72 after 12 weeks if he saves $4 each week, which seems reasonable. Okay, 7. A truck has 12 gallons of gas at the beginning of the trip. Each hour, the gas in the tank decreases by 2 gallons. Write an equation that gives the amount of gas, Y, left in the tank after he has driven X hours. So he starts out with 12 gallons. Each hour, the tank decreases by 2 gallons. So the amount in his tank is going up or down? It's going down. So we're going to minus 2 gallons each hour. Are we done? Beautiful equation. Okay, how many gallons are left after 3.5 hours? Let's see. Well, Y is the gas, so X must be the hours. So let's plug that into our equation. Y equals 12 minus 2 times 3.5. 12 minus 7 is 5. What's the question? How many gallons? There are 5 gallons left in his tank after 3.5 hours. Or hers. Okay, 8. Patrick borrows $300 from his mom to buy a new PlayStation. He pays $30 each week to pay her back. Write an equation that gives the amount of money Y that Patrick owes his money after X weeks. Okay, so he started out owing his mom $300. Okay, he pays her $30 each week. So is the amount of money he owes his mom going up or down? Okay, the amount of money he owes her should go down because he's paying her. So it's going to go down. His debt is going down $30 each week. Okay, how many weeks have passed if Patrick now owes only $180? Okay, $180, the X or Y? The amount he owes is Y, so this is Y is 180. Okay, so let's do what Y equals 300 minus 30x. Minus 300 negative 120 equals negative 30x. So I get x is 4. What was the question? How many weeks? 4 weeks. So after 4 weeks, he will only owe his mom $180.